Today I want to ask the question, is it possible to do a Half-Life 2 run that doesn't require you to fire a single bullet? There's an achievement in episode 1 that requires you to go through the entire game firing a single bullet. I wanted to see if that was possible for Half-Life 2. If you know me, then you'll know that my favourite game is Half-Life 2. And if you don't know me, Half-Life 2 is my favourite game. I spent very many hours playing the game and its expansions, and I play the game at least once a year. With this in mind, I'm looking for new ways to play it, and I figured that this challenge run would be one such way. In any case, if you're unfamiliar with the rules are as follows. You're not allowed to fire a bullet from the pistol, revolver, SMG, shotgun, assault rifle, and the crossbow. You are allowed, however, to use these following weapons: Crowbar, 0-point energy field manipulator, the SMG grenade, the energy ball from the Combine Overwatch rifle, grenades, the RPG, and bug bait. Now, I decided to start this run from the Root Canal chapter due to not a great deal of combat happening during the intro, and Root Canal is the chapter where you first get a weapon. We start off in Root Canal where two CP units are beating up two random civvies that apparently haven't done anything. We beat them up, at which point Civil Protection then designates us as their primary target. We hop across the train tracks and decide to jump into the rainwater drainage. We meet Frank and his Vortigaunt friend Vorty. They met on a roller coaster ride 5 years ago. Apparently it was hilarious. Vorty gives you a charge and you're told to get going. You head to the first station of the railroad and find out that it's already been overrun by Civil Protection. First issue I come across on this run is that I can't blow up this barrel to create a bridge to cross. There's also a clip to stop items and the player getting through. With that failing, I had no choice but to clamber over the cars. After escaping from the rainwater drainage through a pipe, we come across a poorly constructed bridge in which I had no choice but to hit the barrels with my crowbar and let the suit tank the damage as best it could. Continuing onwards, we continue onwards, and whilst we're outrunning Civil Protection, just as we're about to make a jump, we get bonked on the head by an explosive barrel. We do a quick seesaw puzzle that shows off the physics, and then a hunter chopper appears. Unfortunately at this stage, we have nothing that will deal any damage to it, so we have no choice but to run and hide back into the sewers. We meet up with a fella that's hiding out in the sewers and tells us that the entire area is being searched through via manhacks. At this point, a few manhacks burst through the door. We decide not to cramp that guy's style, whatever that means, and leave him to it in his capable hands. After we make our way through the sewers, we manage to get to the airboat, where somebody has kept it all gassed up and ready to go. The airboat section is one of my favourite sections in the game. We get to the first Civil Protection outpost, we pick up some grenades, smash a few windows and rush a turret. We beat down the last few guys and then we get to the next obstacle that I didn't really think about until I got there. And you can see in the video the cogs in my brain slowly turning as I contemplate what to do next. After masterfully throwing a grenade over the fence, I'm able to hit the explosive barrels, which causes the cargo to smash through the damn doors. As we go to leave, reinforcements have been called in. Now, with the entire area absolutely covered in CP, I knew I had no chance whatsoever to take all of them down with just my crowbar and grenades. So I had to make a mad dash for the exit whilst being covered by hot lead from every angle. I somehow managed to escape with a single hit point of damage, and I couldn't have made it any closer even if that was my intent. We come across the last refugee camp before Black Mesa East. They installed a gun onto our vehicle. Unfortunately, we can't use it and just have to put up with the hunter chopper. Eventually, we get to the boss arena with the hunter chopper, and it's at this point I thought that the run might be over. I was completely unsure as to whether it was even remotely possible to get past this next challenge without destroying the chopper. I had contemplated using SMG grenades to try to attack the helicopter, but that's just ridiculous. I tried the only thing I really could do, which was rush for the gate, and hope that I could open it whilst the chopper was intact or without being killed. Thankfully it worked, and I was able to just slip through, and I feel at this point the devs didn't really account for this potential situation occurring, because the game kind of freaks out as we see the G-Man disappear. We make it through the dam and into Black Mesa East. After meeting up with everybody, we are given the 0-point energy field manipulator. Once I retrieve it, we head into the tutorial area and I begin to block Dog in with props. You should try it, it's a real barrel of laughs. Unfortunately, Dog didn't really seem to appreciate the gesture. We go through the tutorial and then the Combine attacks, and I do a really great job of boxing up the entrance to the airlock. Turns out Dog is sick of my shit at this point and just destroys the boxes. We go through Ravenholm, but honestly there isn't really anything worth talking about there. Ravenholm is already set up so you can go through Ravenholm with just a gravity gun. Skipping past Ravenholm, we end up at the worst chapter of the game, Highway 17. Nothing much happens in this mundane chapter. I do manage to beach the buggy twice, on the tiniest piece of road. We get to a small bridge with a force field blocking the way. We're supposed to go around it and unplug it. I don't like this chapter, so I just force my car around it. We get to another longer bridge and it has another force field. We go unplug that one and drive our car through. We get to the end of the road trip and Combine forces decide to assault us at the lighthouse. I primarily use the rebels to defeat the Combine. Gordon helps those that help themselves. I use a collection of my crowbar, RPG and grenades to deal with anybody left over. We get to the next chapter, Sand Traps, which is a welcome change from the Highway 17 chapter. We run past Laszlo. We're told not to step on the sand and stay on the rocks because it makes the antlions crazy. Laszlo moves and there isn't really anything I can do for him, so I just ran past Laszlo and his lover. We stack our way through the beach by standing on props until we drop into the antlion guard Bosnip. We take down the antlion guard relatively quickly with 3 explosive barrels. Obtain the bug bait, and after a short tutorial, we assault Nova Prospect, the old prison. We retrieve Eli Vance and Judith Mossman. Unfortunately, not long after, Judith betrays us and steals Eli and teleports to the Citadel. Alex then has to reset the teleporter and set the coordinates to Dr. Kleiner's lab, whilst we have to hold off waves and waves of Combine soldiers. I knew that I wouldn't be able to fight off all of them with just my crowbar and grenades, so I brought all of the sentry turrets from previous sections with me. Having that many turrets created quite an effective firing line and really didn't require me to do anything other than wait for the teleporter to cool down. We teleport through the teleporter to Kleiner's lab just as the Nova Prospect teleporter explodes, destroying Nova Prospect and starting the revolution. After a few hours of intense street fighting, wherein I let most of the rebels do all of the heavy lifting, whilst I primarily run past enemies or kill them with a gravity gun, we finally get to the gate of the Citadel, where Dog lets us into the Citadel. We enter the Citadel and we enter into a prisoner holding seat. We're taken for a ride and dropped into a confiscation containment cell where we lose all of our weapons except for our gravity gun, which gets a powerful upgrade, and from this point on the challenge completely falls out of this challenge run. We run through the Citadel, killing everything in our path relatively easily. We make our way right up to Dr. Breen's office. After some threats, Mossman decides that she wants to work with the Resistance again. She changes her mind more than I change my pants. We fight our way through the core of the Citadel, causing a chain reaction of the Citadel's dark energy fusion core, whatever that means, and we blow up the Citadel, thus ending this Half-Life 2 challenge run.
Time, Dr. Freeman? Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived. You've done a great deal in a small time span. You've done so well, in fact, that I've received some interesting offers for your services. Ordinarily, I wouldn't contemplate them, but these are extraordinary times. Rather than offer you the illusion of free choice, I will take the liberty of choosing for you, if and when your time comes round again. I do apologize for what must seem to you an arbitrary imposition, Dr. Freeman. I trust it will all make sense to you in the course of... well, I'm really not at liberty to say. In the meantime, this is where I get off.
Thanks for watching. Maybe you'd like to click on one of these videos for more. Alternatively, you could subscribe and check out my selection of guides, comical videos and co-op playthroughs. I recommend the Pokemon Crystal playthrough. It's very good if I do say so myself. Alternatively, you can give my brain a hit of dopamine by clicking the like button or leaving a comment. I could really use more dopamine.